We're back. Master Race Cars FBM Saturday, round 16 at Blackwood GP with the FBM. Michael, Málek, it's the demo config.
Good evening, everyone. Good to be here, and I'm happy that Pete didn't say Fragmaster Fox Friday again last time.
You just had to say it, Michael. You just had to bring it up right at the beginning. But yeah, we're back. Blackwood GP with the FBM here tonight for round 16, and we can't wait to get cracking again. For this one, let's have a look at what the drivers have got in store tonight. They're going to be navigating Blackwood GP in the for 21 laps in both races tonight, and the drivers are going to make a mandatory pit stop with no work, and race 2 is going to have a top 10 grid reversal. Michael.
Yes, exactly. It will be very exciting racing tonight with 2 21 laps races and then grid reversal. So, as always, I'm looking forward to some great on-track action, especially on this very popular demo combo that everyone watching the stream can try out for free, because it's the free content in the LFS.
Yeah, exactly. The drivers can enjoy this as they have for years. Lots of the drivers on the server tonight are drivers that will have been doing this in demo, then that would have sort of convinced them to buy a license, and then they're going to be driving again tonight in FBM Saturday round 16 with the FBM 1.2 litre inline 4 rear wheel drive, weighing just under half a ton with 140 brake horsepower. Here's what the calendar looks like for our broadcast. Of course, FBM Saturday takes place every single week, but we're going to broadcast around once every 2 months until the end of the year. So looking forward to all of that lot. Let's get through the championship standings, because there are quite a lot of results to go through before qualifying starts in just a few moments' time. But at the top of the table, it is Fragmaster's Rex, who leads with 360 points ahead of the MRc duo of the Fox 777 and Happy D. Then we've got Gabba, TJ, Dark, Roger Chen, I assume, Onifus, Wow, and Sufort in the top 10. It's pretty close there at the top, but 60-point void between Rex and Fox there, Michael.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that Fox is definitely on the server, and Rex is so as well, so we will have both top drivers getting ready for the battle for tonight.
We do indeed. There are a lot of pages of championship standings to go through, so we'll do that now. Before we talk about the teams, we've got 20 teams that have registered for this championship, and those are the ones that have scored at least a point, and hopefully we'll see some more of those guys joining the list in future rounds. But an enormous amount of drivers who have taken part in the championship so far this year, 81 to be exact, scoring at least a singular point. There we go. Adam Picard there, the 81st and final driver in the Drivers' Championship standings. As we head over to the teams, which is a bit simpler, we've got Master Race Car and Fragmasters with Road Appraiser, Sidus, Good Drivers, TAV, Winners, Race Green, Born to Race, and Sonoris, your top 10. And pretty much everybody on this list is in attendance tonight. We've got drivers from a multitude of teams currently doing practice races for the next 40 seconds before qualifying gets underway, Michael, for what should be around about 20 to 25 minutes. We're going to have one shot qualifying where all the drivers get to do one out lap and then one flying lap to set their time on the grid for race number 1.
Yeah, exactly. And we have about 40 drivers connected to the server right now, so it will be a very well used qualifying time.
Yeah, it should be a completely packed one, that's for sure. Love to have big grids here in LFS, and tonight should be absolutely no exception, especially on a combo that everybody really should know quite well as it happens, as qualifying is beginning in the background, and we're going to have the first cars on track for us to enjoy. Michael, let's go to the track and watch qualifying.
Yeah, let's do it. And the first on the track should be Fragmaster Orifus. Yeah, there he is, leaving the pit lane, ready to do his out lap or warm-up lap, or whatever you want to call it. It's safe to expect some zigzagging in order to heat up the tires. And I wonder what will be the fastest lap of tonight's qualifying, because this is the combo that most of the drivers are very experienced in. So I'm wondering, I'll take the bragging rights. My best time around this particular track and car combination is 1 minute 12.78. How many driver speed do you think will beat that time during the qualifying?
Say that time again.
1 minute 12 seconds 78
All of
hundredths.
them. Absolutely everybody's going to beat that time, Michael. They're
Oh,
going to leave you in their dust, I'm afraid.
I'd love to see that.
I'm going to actually check my time at some point because I've not done that. I've not done my due diligence on my own lap time around here. I'm sure it's not very good. But there we go.
Yeah, just want to remind the broadcast viewers that these drivers have only one attempt. Meanwhile, I did that particular lap in about 14,000 iterations on this track. So, yeah, it will be a very difficult challenge for them. And let's see how well it goes for Fredmaster Olifus, who just started his flying lap, steaming into the turn number 1 in 5th gear, into the braking zone, which is uphill, very easy to look up here, down to what should be a 2nd gear. Now he has to hug the perfect line through this chicane, which has been reprofiled a few times, as the track exists for over 20 years, I believe. And onto the long back straight with pretty strong sector of 24.17 seconds, and very good for a start. And into the heavy braking zone at the end of the straight at about 220 kilometers per hour. Down to the 3rd gear, he's a little wider than he would love to, but still keeps it on the racing surface. The car seems to be pointed in the right way, and let's see what his second split is. And it's 53.26, which is a very reasonable time for the provisional pole position, which will be have. With hope he doesn't catch the grass here. It was very close, but still keeps it on the track. And on the last turn, somehow manages to stay with 2 wheels on the curbs, and his time is 1 minute 13.29. That's the provisional pole position time, and let's see how well Rex will be able to beat that. With his split time is 52.68, so way faster than his teammate Onefus. And unless he makes a terrible mistake here, he should be able to beat the time with ease. Skipping a bit of the track, it's not necessarily faster through there, but it's as a driver there, you find yourself very motivated going through as fast as you can, and then you catch yourself on the grass trying to not spin out. And this was the case, definitely.
Yeah, Good Drivers Wow is next to see how he gets on, as the drivers do drop already into the 112s there, Michael. So Rex setting a 112.53, which is 4/10 faster than my own PB, which, well, there you go. I did a 13.45, I think, was my PB. Unless I've got that wrong again. Am I misquoting myself? What did I get? Anyway, as Wow comes across the line, and he too does a 12.82 on this occasion. Pretty quick. Yeah, 13.45 is my PB, which is not fabulous. Wouldn't do me many favours. Andrea is next for Good Drivers again. Let's see what they can manage. Come across start finish, and it's another 12.87. So the drivers are not messing around tonight.
Next over the line will be Good Drivers Hosep, who also is setting a very strong sector 2 time, 52.86. So he should be alongside the fastest finishers in this qualifying so far.
Yeah, he's not doing his usual service of having the number of laps in his name tonight, but it is 2 times 21. It's 21 lap races tonight, and Hosep goes 3rd, 100th of a second ahead of his teammate.
Yes, so far all the good drivers are connected together in the timing tower, splitting the Fredmaster drivers as much as they can. And the next over the line will be my teammate Konix, the first of the Master Race Car drivers, with 52.93 seconds split 2 time. He went very carefully through that final turn, which may have cost him some time, and it's 1 minute 13.02, and it's provisional 5th place for him, so a lot of to improve as his teammate Gabriel goes over the grass, and he's already on par with Onifus, so definitely not going to compete for the pole position.
I like how you said his teammate rather than your teammate. Anyway, he's over.
I'm distancing from him after that mistake.
Disassociating himself is Michael, but over start finish, it's not a good time in the end. Down to the back in P7, and that's really going to cost him because the drivers, as I said before, this is FBM territory. Blackwood is the track that probably most people here have spent the most time, and if they haven't, then it must have been for a specific purpose, like a league race or something. But I reckon the lion's share of the drivers have the most laps clocked here at Blackwood GP, the classic combo of LFS with the FBM, and it's pole position provisionally for Happy D. And what did you say your PB was, Michael?
1 minute, 12 seconds, and 78 hundredths. So I'm
all right.
already
You've been beaten by your teammate and by a Frank Masters driver.
Yeah, it's very impressive that they only need one attempt to beat my 14,000 attempts. So
yeah.
I feel ashamed.
Well, there we go. Anyway, the Fox is next. The Fox 777 pops a wheel on the grass out of the final corner, and that shouldn't affect him too much as we head over start-finish to go P7 for the Fox. Next, we've got Colourflow with the least colourful livery I've ever seen on FBM. He should be ashamed of himself. Mind you, isn't white the most colourful colour? Maybe that's what he's going for.
Well, it depends. If it's made of white, then yes.
Don't get into physics. I don't want to open the physics can of worms with you, Michael, especially not. Anyway, over the grass, that's not going to have helped him at all, but we'll see what happens. 8th.
I mean, this is a physics simulation in the first place, no?
Yes, but you're not allowed to talk about it. You're here to commentate.
Oh.
Here comes spin up to the final corner. And again, popping a wheel. That won't hurt him too badly. And an over start finish. What's it going to be? P6. So a lot of the MRC drivers close together except Happy D, who has taken provisional pole with a 12:52 so far. Sonoris High, what next, Michael?
Yeah, he didn't have the strongest first and now second sector on the 53.15, so it will be about the second half of the timing tower, I guess. Let's see how well it goes for him. Should be around P9 as of currently. Let's see if I'm correct. Over the line, and he slots in P9. Well, there you go. And his teammate AK Destroyer is now in the second sector of this track with almost identical first split and even worse second split time, so he should go down to P10, maybe 11 if his pace remains consistent.
Yeah, slightly wider the apex through the second to last and then into the last corner. Looking good, but let's see if he's quicker than his teammate. That's it for the Sonoris drivers, P12 only, as we switch to Bortz for Road Appraiser. Always a striking set of liveries, these ones. Oh, but that's a mess over the big sausage curb at the second chicane. And, well, that's going to have cost Bortz quite a bit. A 53.74 second sector time.
Yeah, his lap time was already compromised from the first sector, which wasn't very strong, so I wonder if he made a mistake into the chicane. And he's also out of the track surface here, losing a few tenths of a second. And goes slowest so far.
Next is Dark, driving for Red Bull, not Road Appraiser. As we expect a decent time from Dark. He led the first test race that happened just before, and I think he got overall pole position in the practice session as well. So let's see what Dark can manage. It's a scrappy end of the lap, it looked like. Let's see if it's fast. It is fast, a 12.39. That is absurd, Michael. What pace is that?
Yeah. Dark is definitely one of the pros on this track. I wonder how many laps he has done. As we are now watching Hachiroku from Sim Racing Polska, I believe, completing his lap with not very strong first and second split times. And catching the slide over the grass, losing about 2 seconds maybe, and going definitely the slowest so far.
Yeah, but still, the spread of times is not that crazy. It's all still within 2 seconds. Now we're watching Artis. But Dark, I can't get over. That is a brilliant, brilliant lap time. A 1:12.3 in a one-shot qualifying scenario. It's going to be hard for anybody to beat that. Thought
Absolutely.
Happy D's time might have been safe, but anyway.
Absolutely, and let's be honest, Artis is not the strongest contender here, and so far his splits are for the worst of what we have seen, so he might end up around P15 or 16 in the provisional timing tower.
Well, it's a better final corner than Hachiroku. Let's see if it's good enough to get not last place. No, unfortunately, P17 for now. As we switch quickly to Ruby, who comes across start-finish quite close behind him, actually, P13. And then Sufor's going to have a go.
Yes.
Sufor can manage today.
Yeah, Sufor is suffering in 2R, and so far his first split wasn't the strongest one. Let's see as he completes this one. It's 53.03, so not as fast as you would love to, but it's not
looking
that bad.
Mid-pack-ish with this one.
Yeah.
Let's see where he goes.
I think around
curb.
P8 maybe.
Ooh, let's see if you're right. P7.
Almost.
Better. Close. Bright green for Boy from Brazil. How would you guess? Let's see what he can manage. He's got a... it's an alright first sector. It's probably going to be around Sufor's time. In fact, no, he's lost about half a second in the middle sector, so probably somewhere outside the top 10.
His driving style seems to be very conservative for this kind of track, so he's probably playing it safe and hoping for some shenanigans on the start of the race. As he goes P16 provisionally.
Falcon next. Let's see if it's going to be a good time. Over start finish, it's P10, and we're going to see Hermani doing most of a lap because, well, that's the sort of time we've got to wait. There's a big gap between Falcon and Hermani. Just coming onto the home straight. The back straight now. Runs the whole length of the track from the first hairpin all the way down to turn 4. Heavy on the brakes, and there's lots of bumps that unsettle even the lower powered cars in LFS now, so it makes the braking zone quite a bit more difficult, especially more difficult to not catch a brake and lock up a tyre. But Hermani looks to be suffering a little bit here, over a second down on Sufor, and Sufor managed P7, so where's Hermani going to go? This could actually be one of the slower times of the day. And yeah, it's last, in fact.
Yeah, it's inverted pole position for Hermani as we switch to Kurko 87, and it must be noted that Kurko is driving with keyboard, which is not very favorable way of inputting the car control. So I think he's doing pretty well for what he has in hand.
Yeah, I mean, Kurko is an experienced driver, but it is still, he's heavily compromised. The keyboard is super difficult to be an expert in. P22 for Kurko as we switch to Owen now.
And Owen also has compromised first half of the lap, as his split 2 was 54 seconds, so way slower than any of the top drivers. And he might end up around P20-ish.
Over start finish.
22nd.
Yeah, 22nd for... So everyone's finishing 22nd at the moment. Let's see what Martin Capel can manage. A 53.1 second sector, which is pretty decent. So we're expecting a top 10 at the moment from Martin Capel. See what he can manage. Oh, P13. Lost a little bit of time there at the end. As we switch to Gabba.
Yeah, Gabor is one of the two Sidus drivers currently connected to the server, and he's just under 50 3 seconds at the second split time. Let's see how well he manages to navigate through the final turn. He kicks it on the racing surface and over the line. It's P4 for Gabor. 1 minute 12.79, so 100 of a second behind my best time.
Next, we've got Zesty.
Yeah, and Zesty had a fantastic.
Oh!
I jinxed it. I wanted to set a fantastic lap so far, but as I didn't even finish that sentence and he already messed it up. And this definitely will be a strong time. It's P11 only after that small mistake.
I don't think you did jinx that. I think he'd already done his worst by the time that happened. We switch now to Doctor for Road Appraiser, and that was an uncomfortable second chicane, wasn't it? Let's see if he can get anywhere near his teammate. His split time is not as good as he'd want. 53.2 will not do it. We're looking around Martin Capal territory here if he can't strengthen the lap at the final corner. Up over the curb again. Let's see what it is. No, it is just pipping Martin there. P15. So we switch now to Champion Plays YT. I guess you can catch him on YouTube.
I wonder how you came to that conclusion.
Over start finish, and it's P28, so not a great time, but going for it nonetheless. McElroy next. Just going across for the first sector, and it's not been a good first sector for McElroy. Unusual, would have expected better than that. Let's see how we do.
Well, his racing line is not very bad, but the pace just isn't there, and it's 53.56 seconds on the second split, which should be around the midfield, I guess. Through that final turn. Catches the slide as he hit the apex way too soon, as lost a bit of time there, and it's 1:13.73 and 22nd place so far.
Yeah,
it's a school bus, which doesn't look like a school bus, but his name definitely is school bus.
the fastest school bus I ever saw. As we head over start finish, we'll see what's up with this. But it's Real Camino, the username. Let's see what school bus can manage. Well, after this, we're back into familiar territory. P31 for the school bus. That's last place at the moment. It's Mad Jester who'll be quickly following over the start-finish line. Mad Jester is P20.
Next on the line will be Stan. Here we watch him, and he's very slow along the lap so far, so he will be towards the back of the grid as well. Let's see what time he manages with 54.4 over the split line. And 1 minute 15.06, and that was 31st time, I believe.
Striking livery here for Victolo, for the TAV team. And let's see what Victolo can manage. Decent first sector. Should be good for the top half of the field at least. Again, like so many other drivers on a qualifying lap, popping half of the wheels over the curb. It's P24, so something else happened in the second half of the lap there. And we've got Redbot, and the drivers will flow thick and fast towards the end of the session here, but we do still have Redbot, Gree, Dodislav, TJ, Dragon High and Turbo 50, and Kirill all still out on a lap, so plenty of fast drivers yet to come. So there could be an upset at the top. Dark has been sat there for far too long, uncontested. Let's see where Redbot goes.
with the current performance, but looks like he should be around the second, third of the grid.
Yeah, just about.
28, even worse than I imagined. And the next of the line should be
It's Dodislav next.
Dodislav.
Oh, it's Guy next. Sorry, it's very, very close between these two, but Guy is going to be next for the air attack team. P30, not good. Dodislav comes across the line to take P14. And let's see what TJ's managed. It's a super, super second sector. A 52.71.
Yeah, he's definitely in the contest for top 3.
It's a good final corner, but let's see how the lap came together for him. It's P4. 3/10 still off the back of his teammate. Let's see what Dragon He or Dragon High? Dragon He? Let's go with Dragoni and see what his time will be. Over start finish we go. 35th for Dragon He. And then Turbo 50 close behind. Late joiner and last place at the moment. 40 qualifiers at the moment, but Kirill can make Dragoni upset if he wants to with one good lap. Turbo 50 is still ahead of him, driving around. So too is Dragon Heat. So there's two drivers that have forgotten to spectate at the end of their lap, it looks like. And Kirill will see both of them.
I'm sure they will be spectated by their organizers before they cross the finish line again.
Well, they've got everybody in the chat petitioning them to spectate. And Dragon He's flipped the car up ahead of Kirill, so he needs to be removed. Well, he has removed himself from the track, but Turbo 50 is just up ahead of Kirill now. Kirill will be in his sights. Yeah, the organisers haven't done anything yet. Let's see if they can before Kirill gets up to the back of him.
And he's being spectated.
There we go, lovely. Anyway, focusing back on Kirill now. Luckily, none of that was on the cameras, but anyway, Kirill is coming across start-finish. Has had an unaffected lap, and it's a good one. 22nd in the end, and that does push Dragon Heat out of tonight's event. And the 40 runners will be, in fact, yeah, Dragon Heat's P36.
I believe it was Turbo 50.
Turbo 50 was last, just my mistake. Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at those qualifying results, shall we, before the drivers get ready for the start of the race. On pole position with a blistering time of 1:12.39, it's road appraiser Dark. He was strong in the practice and he's carried that through into the one-shot qualifying. Being able to set these lap times, Michael, on one shot under that sort of pressure, to manage a 1:12 is phenomenal, frankly, and 10 drivers have managed it tonight. This is super competitive.
Absolutely. It takes me several thousand of attempts to get one time of 1.12, but these drivers are absolutely amazing, and you can see that the grid is very competitive tonight, and I'm looking forward to very great two races, both 21 laps long, in about 5 minutes from now, I believe.
Yeah, this race here is the ultimate bragging rights in LFS. If you can win this race, then you are pretty damn good, because this is the combo that's probably been driven the most in Live for Speed. In fact, I think it is the combo that's been driven the most in LFS. It
definitely is.
FBM at Blackwood GP, and it's currently, this is like the World Championship of Blackwood GP, really. The drivers that have got themselves an LFS license, at least, to compete in a 40-car grid here tonight. It is just chock-a-block. In fact, it's oversubscribed. We've had to say goodbye to Turbo 50 because there is no space for him on the start grid. But Dark takes pole ahead of Happy D, Rex, TJ, Gabba, Wow, Hosep, Andrea, Sufor and Spin. Drivers all underneath 1 minute 13 seconds. Really, really impressive. But yeah, don't dismiss the rest of the drivers either. They've they've still got pace in the can. It's just what they could manage on a one-shot lap. Conix, Zesty, Falcon, the Fox 777, Dodislav, Highwatt, Doctor, Martin Kapal, Colourflow, and Onifus, your top 20. Going over to the second page, we've got Ruby, Kirill, Mad Jester, AK Destroyer, Boy, Magrio, Victolo, Gabri, Bortz, and Hachiroku, your top 30, with Rebbot, Artist, Gui, Owen, Kirko87, Dragonhe, Champion Plays YT, Stan, Hermani, and School Bus, the fastest school bus to ever exist, is in 40th and last place in our race. But everybody, I'm happy to say, is underneath the 105% threshold. We knew this was going to be a quick one, Michael, but yeah, this is super competitive. One of the most competitive grids we've had ever.
Absolutely, and looking at the size of the grid and what names we have there, it's probably safe to say that the sum of laps made by all of these drivers together would be over 500,000 at least. I didn't do the math, but I'm confident to say that it's very likely that much experience is on the track tonight, and it will be absolute blast.
I would love for somebody to do the actual maths on that and work out how many laps have been turned by those drivers. That's going to take Chris half an hour, probably most of the first race, to work that out. But I'd love to give him a task during the broadcasts. But there we are. That is everything that is to look forward to in a few moments' time. We've got the drivers doing warm-ups for another 2 minutes in the background as we turn back to the graphic of Blackwood GP. 3.3 kilometers, 2.1 mile. Absolute classic in sim racing, not just in LFS but in sim racing. This track is a work of genius, completely fictional but known by so many and enjoyed by so many as well. 21 laps are the length of our races tonight, and the drivers need to make a mandatory pit stop during all of the racing action, but they don't need to do any work. And race 2, the feature race, has a top 10 grid reversal, which makes things ever so exciting, doesn't it, Michael?
Absolutely, and we are only 19 seconds away from the start of the race. And I'm wondering, who do you think will win the race number 1?
Well, it's good, very difficult at this point to bet against Dark. He's set the timing screens alight. He's gone more than around 2 seconds faster than anybody else. Sorry, 2/10 faster. Getting ahead of myself. 2/10 faster than anybody else on the track at the moment. But on the run down to turn 1, if Happy D gets a good launch, it could be one of those two. But don't discount anybody, especially inside the top 10, to take the win here in race number 1. I hope that was as inconclusive as I was hoping for. Michael, who do you think is going to win?
Well, my groschen is definitely on Happy D, but I might be wrong.
You're biased, so you're not allowed to,
of course,
to say that. But yeah, Dark has the best shot, so why not? Let's see what Dark can manage for Road Appraiser. He has shown his mettle in the one-shot qualifying session, and consistency is key, especially over a 21-lap race. The race is going to drag on for around about half an hour, so plenty of time for mistakes to creep in if they're not careful. But let's hope none of that happens and we get a clean start, a clean run down to turn 1, and an exciting battle for the win, which I fully expect. This car punches a big hole in the air, and there's going to be plenty of slipstreaming action down the back straight as our counter is arriving at 0. Michael, 5 seconds to the grid. Take it away for round 16 of MRc FBM Saturday in 2025.
And we are getting the grid ready. Yeah, there it is. 40 cars getting ready for the lights to turn red and then green. You can see that the first 8 to 10 positions are on the slope downwards, and that becomes increasingly difficult to start as they are on the uphill section. So it's even more useful to start at the front, as Dark and Happy D do. There are lights on, and as they go green right now, the race is started, and it's a very strong start from Happy D. He almost goes alongside Dark, with everyone else pulling away very well. Let's see, Rex is now on the tail of Happy D. They are now side by side, Dark on the inside, Happy D on the outside. And so far, so good. Happy D loses actually a place, and now through this chicane where it's very difficult to stay safe. Let's see how many victims we have. So far, so good. And Dark is are already building the gap on Rex and Happy D, who lost his place. There he is. And there is 3 wide with Gabor, Wow, and TJ, I believe, behind them. Yeah, there they are. Gabor alongside. Huge collision. Who that was? It's Safor.
Sufor, yeah. Sufor's off in the gravel. That's a big accident at the end of the back straight. We knew something was going to happen there, but well, we hoped it wouldn't, but we were pretty much expecting it to happen as everybody heads out of there. But yeah, there was a 4 wide situation going on. Absolutely crazy stuff down the order. But people now, as we conclude the first lap, have sort of got themselves into an order, Michael. But chaos at the beginning of the race. The top 3 have broken away. Dark across the line, followed by Rex and Happy D losing a place off the start.
Yeah, so actually, I'm surprised we only lost 2 cars so far. It looks like. There is side by side Connex and Zesty with Zesty on the outside. Zesty is still keeping it around outside, but this is a slip from him, and unwillingly slots behind Connex. And will he be able to draft? He seems to be losing his distance to Connex, who instead is slightly gaining. There is Husep behind Gaglo. Of course, you can see how big the grid is, with Wow being alongside TJ, I believe. TJ on the inside, 4 wide behind them. And so far nobody died. So Onefus
hit the wall, and you've got this gaggle of cars being headed up by Mad Jester at this point. Martin Capel in there as well, with Ruby also following. So a big gaggle of cars here. 3 wide in the background as well. That's Boy being pushed out wide. There's somebody there. That's Victolo going into the pit lane for the mandatory pit stop. Chooses to do it early, which might be a genius stroke. But yeah, at the front, 1.2 seconds is the lead that Dark has managed to open up over Rex. Then it's Happy D tucking into P3. Gabba in P4 and trying to bridge the gap to drivers who are FBM specialists leading the race on the demo combo. The one that is the hardest to be fast and competitive and to win.
Absolutely, yes. We are now watching battle between Hosep and Wow, the 2 good drivers, I guess. With Hosep taking the lead in this individual duel, slotting behind TJ in that green and black car. Beautiful camera shot. There has been a crash at the end of the long back straight.
Yeah, we've got Owen upside down. There's clearly been a pretty big accident there for that to happen. 3 cars involved apparently. Not sure who they were, but not impacting the front of our race at all. These drivers blissfully unaware of the drama that's happening elsewhere. As we've also got Boy in the pit lane. Hermani's also been stopped for quite a while, I think. In this first race, all drivers owe us a pit stop at some point, as Dodislav here in the blue and white making a move up the inside of Sonoris Highwatt there. A good move up to P13 for him in the race, so making some progress back up the field.
Yeah, and just in front of them, Onefust is now making impression on Dr. Slipstream and will be alongside in a few seconds. Let's see if he goes left or right. It looks like it's right from Onefust's perspective, and he should be, I wanted to say alongside, but he's already ahead of Doctor before they even get into the braking zone, so that's overtake done for Onefus.
Yeah, Conix has gone off the track, and Wow has managed to slip up the inside of him into the next chicane. There we go, and that's going to hand Zesty some encouragement. Zesty there in the pink Sidus livery, just trying to take a look early, just to tell Conix that he's there. But doesn't go for the move. Too far back on this occasion.
Connex is struggling heavily with overheating tires, as well as dirt being on them after leaving the track surface and taking some dirt on the way. So he's heavily compromised in performance, and Zesty will have a rather easy way around, actually, to the inside. Connex doesn't have the ability to fight back, and Zesty is promoted to P8.
Well, that looked like an easy move up the inside of Conix, and now up to P8. Zesty will focus on the back of Wow, who's the green car just going through shot now. 3 wide in the background. Doctor on the outside, Falcon on the inside. Sorry, in the middle, and Onifus through at the front. Oni through. As we reset the order, as we come up to the end of lap number 5, onto lap 6, final corner for Dark, who goes onto the grass. He doesn't care, he's got so much of a lead. So too does Rex, actually. Maybe it is the fastest way round, unusual. There we go, over start finish for Rex, Happy D, Gabba, TJ, Hosep. Here comes Wow, then it's Zesty, and they just come thick and fast, don't they? These guys super quick and super competitive. Martin Capel there, and well, they're already onto the back straight. A retirement for Connix, unusual. Qualified quite well, but has retired from the first race. Will join us potentially for the second one. Well, he's left the server entirely, so maybe he won't join us for the second one. I hope he does.
The Doctor is now attacking Onifus on the back straight. Yeah, there they are. Onifus at the front, but Doctor might have a better line, but he decided that it's safer to stay behind for the time being. It's slightly difficult to follow the other car in dirty air, but he still manages to stay close enough to attack another time as we will start lap number 7. As you can see, this is a view from Onifus' rear.
Side-by-side battle here between Criminus and Champion Plays YT. Champion Plays YT falls into line, and that's Artist just behind. These 3 drivers, all fighting for P20.
And Air Attack Guy joins the squad, so it's now 4-way battle.
This Champion Plays goes for the, did initially go for the, what would be the inside, and sticks to the inside. Alongside, Guy around the outside on Artist as well in the background, but Artist, and Champion Plays nudges Criminus out onto the grass. And now Guy's going to have a double slipstream. 3 wide into the braking zone for turn 4. Martin Capel, Ruby, and Falcon, I believe. Yeah, Falcon leads this little group now. Martin on the outside. That's going to allow Ruby potentially... No opportunity there. And that's Colourflow in the background as well, fighting with Ruby now.
Yeah, Colourflow around the outside of Ruby, but that's not the line you want to be in, and he's a little behind already. Martin Capel in front of them is trying to chase Falcon, but is suffering from the dirty air, and this allows Ruby instead to attack on Martin Capel, a very experienced driver in any series with full speed, as they are side by side with Martin Capel on what will be the inside of the first turn heavy braking zone. He brakes a bit too soon for my liking. Manages to tap the rear of Ruby, and Ruby's rear tire are really screaming now as they are overheating, and he's losing the grip as we speak, and he's now vulnerable to Martin Capel, who goes alongside him again. Now the speeds are equalized, but Martin will be in the preferred position into the heavy braking zone. Both clocking 216 km per hour, and Martin Capel manages to complete the overtake from the inside.
Yeah, good move up to P14, and well, it looks like a lot of fun out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm having a blast watching it.
It's one of those combos where it's super competitive, and it's much easier to watch it than it is to drive in it, I'm sure, but the fun is still there. I am certain of it, as it looks like Artist pulls into the pit lane. In fact, I think that might be Colourflow. Colourflow into the pits. As we start yet another lap. But Dark now with a 1.8 second lead over Rex. 3 seconds back to Happy D. And Gabba is slowly but surely closing in on the podium.
Yes, still a time to find, but so far it looks like he will be a strong contender towards the other half of the race. as there was a small lockup from Happy D, but he manages to keep the car on the racing surface. And then allows Gabor.
Oh, another one from Happy D.
Yeah,
Happy D struggling here. Gabor could do this move sooner than we thought, but it's one thing to catch, it's another to overtake. Let's see what he can manage. And it's wide again for Happy D. Gabor unsettled. The car slightly. Happy D pits from third on the road. Risky. Happy D's going to come out in a ton of traffic. We're not even halfway through the race.
Absolutely, but this is a perfect opportunity for Happy D to cool down the tires as they are now at their heat peak, and everyone seems to be struggling with the grip, especially on the rear of the car, and taking slow lap through the pit lane will definitely help to cool them down for a bit, so he might take some advantage in that move.
Yeah,
let's see how he goes.
That is super hot even at this stage of the race. The drivers at the front especially putting a lot of energy through them as we ride on the nose cone then of TJ, who is trying to close down on Gabor, and it's close as well.
And Happy D has rejoined behind Ruby and Martin Kapal. In P15, these two are side by side on the back straight. There we go. Martin Kapal is the attacking from behind, but no longer alongside. And Happy D might be losing some time here, watching the rears of these two guys going slowly, battling each other. And this might allow Falcon to actually run away from them and to let it up. As one
I think he already has.
Front runners is into the pit lane, and that is Hosep, who is into the pits.
Yeah, and interestingly now we're watching Happy D struggling to get through on Martin Capelli. He's lost a ton of time there. And now on the outside, compromising his own line. And, well, he is through, but he would have lost so much time there. So I don't see a podium in the future in this race for Happy D just by pitting so early. But that remains to be seen. Maybe it's a genius strategy, and it's just something that's lost on me. I don't know.
He is through, but at what cost? I think he exactly. Several seconds just by staying behind Martin Kapal and Ruby fighting each other. As now Gabor is just in front of TJ, so instead of attacking Happy D, he might not be under the pressure from the Road to Preza guy.
Yeah, another Road to Preza guy. We've got one leading the race and another one challenging for P3 now. Gabor took that place so easily with Happy D ejecting himself into the pit lane, but now he's gone from attacking into defense mode against one of the hardest drivers to defend from in an FBM. It's TJ. Let's see if he can manage it. This is going to be close to the end, I think.
Absolutely, unless one of them decides to pit early, but as we have seen, it's not the strategy you want to take, especially at this stage.
Happy D into the brakes even, or lifting off, trying to get through on Falcon, and it's just going from bad to worse.
I'm sure Happy D is having fun racing like this, but he's definitely losing performance, so the strong result is out of context. There was contact between Happy D and Falcon.
Oh, there is further contact, Happy D getting tagged by Falcon, losing a ton of places, and, well, that's the risk you run if you pit out of track. You forfeit track position, you rejoin in the middle of a pack with drivers who've been focused on the drivers around them. You're new into the situation, and people just don't know your driving style. They don't know what moves you're going to go for, and that can happen. As Happy D's now attacking
Falcon, he's giving the position back, apparently.
Yeah, well, there we go. Interesting. Falcon gives the place back, but now Happy D sets his sights on his teammate.
To be fair, I'm not wondering much because Happy D was very upset in the in-game chat, so much that I can't say what he wrote there.
Yeah, that's not safe for the airwaves at this time of night. But you run that risk. You run that risk if you pit early. Absolutely. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I think. But Martin Kapal now has his mirrors full of the Fox, and that's soon going to turn into Happy D as well. But Happy D can vent his frustration all he likes. He put himself in that situation. So he's partly to blame for sure, as we now watch Champion Plays YT. trying to close down. In fact, I think Manchester's just got past him. Side by side on the back straight, it's Hosep and Falcon. Hosep's through. Happy D now. Well, Martin Capal is in a MRc sandwich, isn't he?
Yeah, he's already been passed by the Fox, and he may be vulnerable to Happy D in a few moments.
Yeah, the other drivers are going to have a worse tyre situation than Happy D, so this shouldn't be too difficult. But he just has to get a good slipstream on Martin out of the chicane. I do wonder where Happy D will end up in this race. Potentially risking dropping out of the top 10 even, if he's not careful. Yeah, Martin Capal gaining even more time. And look at that, ragged on the exit. Just a shame to see all that hard work at the beginning of the race sort of coming undone, really. But it happens. And we've got a second race anyway to have even more fun with the drivers. So just at the back of shot there, completely over the hill. Kind of difficult to see. We've got colour flow in the slipstream of champion plays. I wonder if there'll be a move into the next braking zone. Yes, there will be. That's lucky. So around the outside goes colour flow, and before the braking zone, no, just about. They're still side by side. Champion plays still there with a nose on the inside. Champion plays still alongside, and there we go. Colour flow is through finally.
Yeah, very good overtake. And in the meantime, Happy D has overtaken Martin Koppel, promoting himself into provisional P13.
Yeah, so, interestingly, Adam Brown in the chat said that even though Happy D might be compromised in the first race, he might get a good position in the reverse grid second race. He might be able to just disappear and get the win that way if he wants it.
That's absolutely possible, but let's keep in mind that he was in a very preferable static position for this race, and it didn't really work out. So
right, but his competitors will be down the grid, so they'll have even more of a chance potentially. But it's not over yet. We've still got plenty of drama to come, I'm sure. We're into the final quarter of race 1, and this battle for P3 between TJ and Gabba is still super close. Nothing to choose between them. Yeah, but I do wonder.
This might come down to who does a better pit stop, or more likely, who navigates better through the pit lane, because there's where the most time can be gained or lost, especially with possible drive-thrus. We're now watching Boy overtaking, not who that
Champion
is.
Place.
Champion Place, yeah. And there's somebody over the track that's Jimenez from TAV, losing the car but keeping it in the right direction and continuing in the race. AK Destroyer has made a pit stop, so did Falcon. Dark is now leading with more than 2 seconds of advantage over Flagmaster X. So far so good, and calm on the front of the race.
Yeah, but he's got some traffic coming up. You can just about see it, and that could come into play later on. Sufor, meanwhile, is down in 27th place in a battle with Magrio. Thinks about pulling out the slipstream into turn 1. Thinks better of it in the end. But let's have a look at the drivers that have already made stops. Nobody in the top 11 has made stops. Happy D is the highest placed driver who has made a stop still, so that's interesting. As Sufor pulls out on Magrio. Goes to the outside, but I think he's going to be fine. Well, actually, no, Magrio's still there. And they go through side by side. And the battle rages on. The gap between Rex and Dark is sat at around 2 seconds at the moment. As we watch this battle, who's this? This is Mad Jester and Redbot. Over start-finish line. To the outside goes Mad Jester. Redbot leaves him the space. And Mad Jester is already ahead at the apex. That's amazing. Good move. Chris has been away and has done some stats for us, Michael. 17 laps it's taken him to get this stat. 138,000 total laps between the drivers. And the driver with the most laps is School Bus, who currently laps in last place with over 30,000 laps. So thanks, Chris, for doing the maths with the stats. But that is a lot of laps around here, and we did say that this was an experienced grid. And we weren't kidding. But only 18 of the drivers here have more than 1,000 laps. I mean, 1,000 laps is a ridiculous statistic, isn't it? That's already a lot of laps, as TJ has made the move on Gabba out of the chicane somewhere, and he's pulled clear.
And this might be the opportunity for Gabor to enter the pit lane, to try something onto the TJ, who seems to have a better pace for tonight.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen somehow. I think he's just going to battle him on track. Yeah, he's thinking about going for the move already. I don't know if Gabba will choose a pit strategy. Yes, he will. Wow. Well, fair play to you, Michael. I'd never have called that, but he did. Fair play.
Yeah, I guess.
Good guess. Anyway, let's see where he comes out. This again could be tricky for him. Where's he going to come out? Doctor goes through. Hiwatt's coming through as well. Gabba is going to be behind Hiwatt, so this is going to be... He will be the top place driver because Happy D's lost so much time. Happy D is the next car behind him, but... oh, no, in fact, there you go. Look, Onifus. Onifus has snuck out in front of him as well.
Yeah, very close, but Happy D might have some pace advantage, at least the beginning of the straight, but it looks like he's a bit too far
going for the slipstream. Yeah, he doesn't want it.
He doesn't even try.
No. So Onifus also sneaks through, and Onifus, interestingly, is in that 10th place now. I know that other drivers ahead will pit, and inevitably Happy D and Onifus will get through. So these guys should be safely into the reverse grid scenario. As Dark comes into the pits, he has done it. He has come in, and he will relinquish the lead. Rex has gone through. This is interesting. Where is Dark going to come out? Dark's going to come out behind Wow, and he's going to be around his teammate. In fact, he'll be just ahead of his teammate in some clean air. Yeah, there he is. So that's played out very nicely for Dark, but Rex has managed to stay out. He'll have to come in on this lap, Michael.
Yeah, and over this lap will be the final opportunity for everyone who has not yet done the pit stop to do so. Otherwise, they will face penalty or even disqualification, I believe.
Yep.
So let's keep an eye on Rex and how well he manages to do his mandatory stuff through the pit lane.
Yeah, let's ride on board with him. Let's see how he does it, because this is crucial for the lead. He was 2 seconds behind when Dark came in, and look at that, nailing the entry down to the speed limit. Ooh. Oh,
that was very close.
That was super close, as late as you like, angled into the pit stop, not even giving up time on the way into the box.
And there's TJ.
There's TJ just ahead of him. TJ's made the jump, and TJ had to back off a little bit there as he swapped past in front. And now, as we get up to racing speed, Dark is through. So Rex will emerge in P2 and potentially have a back marker. Who is that in the way?
There is Artis.
Artis, yeah. So Rex will have a bit of potentially a slipstream. Oh, who's that off in the grass? That was Falcon, I think.
That was TJ.
No, there was somebody off in the grass. There's bales going everywhere. TJ there as well. Yeah, TJ's lost time, but there was a back marker. Somebody went sideways. Gabba's slow as well. We've missed some drama at the first chicane on the final lap. And we've got a 3 wide situation, and Happy D's in the mix. Unbelievable recovery. Dark's coming through the final couple of corners, but let's keep an eye on this battle. Gabba's dropped all the way down to P8. that's good for him in the start of the next race, but something happened at the chicane. Mandula says it was a mouse glitch in the chat, but out of the final corner, Michael, comes Dark to win in epic fashion. Pole, fastest lap, and the win. And a blistering race time as well. Unbelievable. Rex comes across in P2. It's going to be Zesty who takes third. Oh, will it? He's braking. No, it is going to be Zesty. I thought he might have slowed down a little bit early there. No, TJ took third. What's going on here? Did Zesty give the place to TJ?
It is possible.
TJ got a podium out of that race? That was super close between the two of them across the line. 0.6, but it was just out of camera shot there. But anyway, Dark takes the win in race number 1 as the rest of the drivers come across the line. In the swap spot, it is Highwatt in P10 who will take pole position for race number 2. Highwatt there in the lucky seat, or unlucky for some. Zesty did let TJ through. Zesty slammed the brakes on just before the start finish line to promote TJ to a podium, which in the reverse grid will promote TJ, well, actually promote Zesty ahead of him. My, that's unusual. To forfeit a podium is not sporting at all.
Yeah, and reading the chat after the race, it looks like Gabri was the reason why TJ and Gabor were so much off pace. Not sure what exactly did happen there, but they were complaining about him, so I wonder what did happen.
Yeah, Dark completes yet another lap just to prove that he had fuel to spare as well, just rubbing it in the face of everybody else. But there he goes through, as we will now confirm the race results from race number 1. 21 laps of Blackwood GP in the Formula BMW. And it's Road Appraiser Dark in 25 minutes and 53 seconds, 0.2, and the fastest lap, a 1 minute 12.75, that give him the gold medal. Top step of the podium in race 1 for him and his team Road Appraiser. Then we've got Fragmasters Rex in second place with TJ there, given third place after Zesty slammed the brakes on just before start finish. Absolutely no idea why he's done that. To give up a podium in such a prestigious race, it has to be said, is mindless. Anyway, Zesty best of the rest in T4. Happy D, Onifus, Gabba, Wow, Doctor, and Highwatt in P10. Hearing some rumours that it might have been Zesty might have slammed the anchors on because TJ was involved in that first chicane debacle, and Zesty just felt bad for him. Well, anyway, whatever's happened there, it was Zesty's race to take a podium. But anyway, Ladislav P11, Hosep P12, then Fox, Majesta, Martin Kapal, Ruby, Colorflow, Victolo, Boy, and AK Destroyer. And it does sound like Gabba did end up taking TJ out at the first chicane, Michael. It sounds like a hardware problem.
It would be very hard to see the replay to be able to analyze what happened there.
Yeah, we'll have to dismantle that after the race and see what happened. But yeah, drama at the end of the race there on the final lap. But anyway, P21 to Sufort, then Falcon, Magrio, Redbot, Champion Plays YT, Hermani, Kirko87, Bortz, Artis, and Stan, your top 30. Schoolbus 31st, holding the most laps of anybody on the server around this combo, would you believe, is the final registered finisher with DNFs for Gabri, Guy, Krill, Konix, Hachiroku, Owen, Spin, Andrea, and Criminez. Yeah, well, what a race.
Yeah, it is very weird to see that the most experienced driver here finishes in the last place, but I guess, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, most laps doesn't necessarily mean you learn from all of those laps, and well, maybe he just enjoys the combo. What can we say?
He's overtrained.
Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's overtraining. Exactly. That is the end of the first race. We have an entire second race yet to come. That will be kicking off, well, as soon as possible, really. The drivers are already being gridded up for race 2. It'll be another 21-lap epic, but this time with that top 10 grid reversal. Drivers must take a mandatory pit stop again as well. All right, we are going to take a very, very quick break. We'll be back in time for the start of race 2. Do not go anywhere because this is going to be even more crazy. Hello and welcome back to round number 16 of FBM Saturday by Master Race Car at Blackwood GP. It's a classic combination, and we've had the first 21 lap race. We've got the second 21 lap race coming up, but there is a correction to the proceedings. Previously I did announce that it was going to be a top 10 reversed. It is in fact going to be a top 15 reverse grid. The organisers decided that top 10 reversed wasn't enough of a challenge for the aliens out there, so they've gone for top 15. That was announced ahead of the round. It's my fault that I didn't pick up on it, but anyway, it is going to be a top 15 reverse grid, which means, Michael, we have Martin Kapal sitting pretty there on pole position ahead of Madjester, the Fox, Josep and Dolislav, with Hiwatt in P6 now.
Yeah, it looks like Martin Kapal did bribe the organizers.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Thank you.
Yeah. So Pete is not at fault, but we definitely had fun figuring out what the event format is in the end. And we are almost ready to get the race up. We have about 5 or 6 drivers yet to confirm their readiness. So we're about 20 to 30 seconds away from the start, I believe.
Yeah, Martin Kapal is going to be beading with sweat there on pole position with a packed grid of 34 cars for race 2. And yes, apologies, it is going to be a top 15 reverse grid. Our graphic is incorrect on that, but anyway, that will add to the challenge. That is going to make this an intense race, that's for sure, because we've got Dark starting down in P15. Michael, we've got a grid. Take us away for the start of race number 2, round 16 of MRc FBM Saturday.
So we are getting ready, and in a moment, there you can see Martin Kapal driving the widest possible FBM car ever, trying to keep everyone behind, especially Madjester in P2, and Fox, Josep, Dodislav, and Hiwatt, all behind him, getting ready to get alongside at least by the start, by the first turn. The lights are going green, and it looks like it was a very strong start from everyone. Nobody is alongside Kapal yet, and he will be on the inside of turn 1. Yeah, the Fox is trying to pull alongside. He's alongside Madjester. So far, so good, no collisions. There are 2 cars on the grass. One of them is, I'm not sure who that was. Yeah, it looked like it was a heavy collision at the exit of the chicane, and a huge gag of cars. And there were several cars in a big crash.
Yeah, this is
it's
absolutely
like 10
horrendous.
cars at least, and we are
We've got
still
cars
racing,
rejoining all over the place.
Oh no.
I think TJ's still having an accident. TJ's spearing all over the track.
Yeah, just they got inside as well.
Yeah, I think the drivers are going to vote for, well, they're trying to vote for a restart, but it's being denied by the server. So I think we get going. Even our race leader is probably questioning why there's not been a restart. But that was an insane amount of drivers that crashed out there, including pretty much everybody that was in contention after race 1 except Gabba, who is up to P4 already.
Yeah, absolutely. Zeste is out, Onifust is out. I can see Rex is being alongside those at the top, as Martin Kapal is being pushed alongside by Madjester on the inside, finally being able to at least attack Martin Kapal, still side by side, and he will probably slot behind. That was very close, but safe, and Madjester is taking the provisional lead from Martin Kapal, who is in the slipstream and created another slipstream for the Fox. So this will be a 3-way battle at the end of this race, hopefully, as TJ acquires a stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, I believe. There's a battle between Gabor and Wow in the background. Wow at the front, as Martin Kapal has now dropped to 3rd place. So Madjester is leading with the Fox in 2nd, then it's Kapal, Wow, Gabor, Rex, Hiwatt, McElroy, Boats, and AK Destroyer. We have several drivers in the pit lane, especially those who were massively damaged in that heavy collision in the first lap.
Yeah, including TJ, who's picked himself up a drive-through penalty and a stop-go penalty, and has now removed himself from the server. So, yeah, he's not happy. But that's racing sometimes. Big accident, and some drivers unable to avoid it. as Boy exits the pit lane there, and we watch Gabba, who is currently in P5, looking at the back of Wow, who holds the fastest lap at the moment. But yeah, we're going to get a bit of a different race here. Dark has not been able to make the progress, obviously, after being caught in that drama at the beginning. He's down in P16 only at the moment, and Rex has the draft of Gabba here. Moves to the inside as well.
He's already making a pass as Wow had a look on the inside of Capel, but decided to stay behind him for the time being. And here we can see his point of view. Looking at the beautiful rear of Martin Capel. And he's in the slipstream. Will he be able to get alongside him into braking zone? No, he stays behind. Capel goes very wide, so maybe struggling with the grip already. And onto the start of fourth lap, with Rex and Gabor being directly behind these two, so it's now a four-way battle for P3. Yeah, Rex is on the left of Wow alongside.
And he's through already.
Already ahead, yeah.
Yeah,
Gabor's turn.
It's amazing that we were focusing on Martin Capel, and all the meanwhile, Wow was being passed by Rex, and Gabba's there as well right now as well. Absolutely insane stuff.
Rex is going alongside Martin Capel, and it looks like Wow is not close enough to make the impression, but instead is an attack from Gabor. So it's now two-way battles with Martin Capel.
Martin's back. He's tried to go for it, and fair play. Rex has held onto the place, but Martin was not ready to give it up. Gabba makes the move on Wow.
It was a very opportunistic move, and it almost worked out to get him
around
the outside.
And why not? You've only got one shot at making that move again before the guy disappears up the road, so you've got to go for it. And now he's trying to make that car as wide as possible to defend from Gabba. Gabba trying to cut back, and it just looks so easy when Gabba's doing it. It's absolutely unbelievable. He's on the outside, but I'm guessing that's going to be an easy pass before he gets to turn one. Yeah, he's already through. Crazy.
Always in the equation. There he is, big vulnerable to Wow.
Wow is going for the move again on Capel.
As Manchester is alongside the Fox, battle for the lead there, just completed, and the Fox seems to be at the front, but no, Manchester is not fighting back. So it's Master Race Cars, the Fox, now leading the race, provisionally at the end of fifth lap, with Manchester in third and Fred Master Rex in Manchester in second and Fred Master Rex in third. Sorry.
That's okay. I mean, these guys, remember, they started way down the order in the middle of the pack. Somehow managed to avoid all of the chaos that ensued on lap number one, and find themselves just, well, on the podium, and if not, just on the edge of it. Gabba is where he spent most of the first race before the final lap.
And Manchester was out of shape and pretty much gave up the position to Rex.
Yeah,
was being promoted. Yeah.
Well, a big wobble that's cost him. But Manchester now in the slipstream of Gabba. Don't think he's going to go for the move again.
I think he will. He will, but no. Yeah. I guess you are right for this time.
I'll take that one. But again,
I'm better race strategist than a driver.
Meanwhile, Dark has a lot of work to do. He's currently 14 seconds off the lead, but is making ground. He's just managed to get past Criminez there. But look at the damage on the front of Dark's car. That has been into either another car or a wall at some point during that opening lap. The race was controversially not restarted. A lot of the drivers wanted it. Martin Capel was vocally against the restart, but he would have been. He was leading at that point. But anyway, we are running, and we are 6 laps into what is always a chaotic race too. Always chaotic with the reverse grid. Today it just went a little bit wrong, but that's okay. These things are allowed to go wrong sometimes.
Yeah, it can happen, and luckily for Dark, the damage is only cosmetic, so his pace is not affected that heavily. He's able to keep up. So
Absolutely.
Watching Fredmaster Rex trying to catch up to the Fox from the organizing team Master Race Car. Maybe mate, go.
You don't even try to sound unbiased, do you? You don't even try.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious.
Well, I'm truly independent, so let's go. I mean, Rex has got the pace, that's for sure. I don't think the Fox is going to be able to hang on for too much longer. But let's see. Maybe the Fox will surprise us as he's hanging on for now. He crosses the line to start lap number 8 of 21 in race 2 here this evening. And Master Race Car for now hold the fort.
Yeah, on the 4/10 of a second between the Fox and Fairmaster's Rex, so any mistake for the Fox and it will be an easy pass for Rex. They both navigate the chicane very well, and I think the gap in between them is big enough.
Majester's had another wobble, and that's just allowed Wow to get through quite easily. So yeah, Majester sort of self-sabotaging here a little bit.
Yeah, oh. Anyway, it looks like Martin Kapal is now being overtaken.
Yeah, he was overtaken by Highwatt. The pole sitter that we thought was going to be the pole sitter has overtaken the actual pole sitter, just to make that conversation even more confusing. Now Kapal is being looked at by McGrio. McGrio really eager to get through.
Yeah, especially as there's bumps right behind them. McGrio, it looks like Martin Kapal is actually lifting, so
I'll be having words with him after because of that. Well, he's actually going to follow McGrio into the pit lane. Bort's there. Gets essentially 2 places. I can't see Martin or McGrio having much luck with rejoining the field and making up time by pitting so early in the race. And I'm hearing that somebody's changing tyres in the pit lane. Martin's changing tyres. Oh no. Well, that's a disaster. Pole man is going to be stationary for quite a while longer than everybody else as he changes his tyres. 20.9 seconds. I'll definitely be having words with him after.
Yeah, it's a lot of time lost as we are now switching back to the lead pack of the Fox, Rex and Gabor being nose to tail. Rex is really eager to make the move, but he has to be careful because anytime he tries to make an attack, it opens the door for Gabor, so he has to be able to sensibly choose an opportunity.
Yeah, you're looking back now from the Fox towards Rex. And then it's Gabor looming large there as well. And the Fox holds on for another lap, starts lap number 10 in the lead. Doing everything he needs to do just now, but there's a very long back straight coming up and the rotator cam is going to show all here as potentially not just 1 but 2 cars might weave their way through. It's a good exit from Rex there, Michael.
Yeah, but Gabor is also in the mix, and I'm sure this might be a 3-way battle at the end of the straight, but so far it looks like Rex is about to take a provisional lead of the race. But he is almost exclusively ahead of the Fox. Yes, he is, before they even take the braking zone, so that's a swap between Rex and the Fox. And now Gabor is right on the tail of the Fox, trying to get alongside, but it's safer to wait a bit, which allows Rex to run away, so yeah, Gabor doesn't have time to spare. He has to make the move as soon as possible.
He does indeed. Yeah, Rex is now flat out, and Gabor is having to lift off as he's in the slipstream, glued to the gearbox of the Fox, and yeah, that gap is going to creep up. I think Gabor's only chance is into turn 1 or into the same corner that Rex managed it. The Fox doesn't defend, crucial. Gabor to the inside. They break at pretty much the same time. The Fox holds it on the outside but is forced off inevitably and Gabba takes the place. Now, Wow could also capitalise from this. He does around the outside. The Fox down to P4, loses a podium in the space of a lap.
Yeah, Fox now on overheated tires and also dirty tires after that of traffic shenanigans. And before, I think he might be able to take the mandatory pit stop now. I see there's a window in the traffic where he might fall into. As we are now watching Andrea fighting with AK, it's not AK, it's Rare, who he was fighting with. But anyway, he's ahead of whoever that was.
Yeah, Andre and AK Destroyer. You were correct.
Yeah, and in the background I see Matt Jester catching up very quickly to the Fox. As we are now watching, not anymore, it was Kurko, and into the pit lane goes Matt Jester. Yeah, he's no longer willing to waste time behind another car.
Happy D, fastest lap this time around. Just wanted to point that out. He's now getting past Falcon. Falcon giving him a hard time there, but no, he's through.
Yeah,
perfectly within his right to defend.
Yeah,
fair fight for sure. I mean, why make it easy, right? You're in a race.
Exactly.
Far too many drivers make it far too easy. That is something I have extensive experience of. But anyway, Dark is also going to get Destroyer in a minute on the back straight. Destroyer going as far to the right-hand side of the track as he can to defend it, but it's just inevitable. Dark has the pace and flies around the outside. Ooh, careful there. Yeah, Dark up to P8. Remember, he had that dreadful start, was caught up in the drama on the first lap, and now is looking to get solid points from race 2 as well. Race 1, pole position, fastest lap, and the race win. But it's a trip from the back in race 2, but only 12.9 seconds from the lead. That's remarkable. He's gained 2 seconds on our race leaders while battling through the pack, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a tall order to take the win, but don't count him out of it. Anything can happen, and it often does in these races. You're watching Master Race Cars FBM Saturday, a championship that happens every single week here in LFS. And tonight we're at Blackwood GP, the home, essentially, of the FBM, the demo config, the track that everybody can drive with the car that everybody can drive. This is the ultimate competition, really. Every single one of these drivers has a fair amount of experience, some with over 30,000 laps of experience around this track. And 10 drivers went sub 1 minute 13 in qualifying. Everybody was within 105% of the pole time, which just shows you the caliber of the racing that we've had on offer tonight in Live for Speed. 40 car grid for race 1, 34 car grid for race 2. That is an excellent number of cars for a Saturday evening, and everybody should be very happy with tonight, I think. Great racing.
Absolutely. So far we have seen absolutely amazing racing, with the maybe one possible exception of the first lap of the second race, where we saw a huge gaggle of cars taking each other out unwillingly. So that did compromise a lot of stars, I would say, in this race, namely Zeste and Onifus, who are at the back of the grid currently.
So you are learning how to balance the commentary there, Michael. I do the good stuff, and you talk about the bad stuff.
Yeah,
He's learning, ladies and gents. Yes, the start of the race wasn't that great for this one, but we have got a story at the front. We've got Gabba versus Rex, which is a great place to be. We've seen these two duking it out plenty of times. Ow, and that's a kill. That's Champion Plays YouTube being absolutely railed by Gabba.
Even worse, Champion Plays managed to tag both cars in the span of 2 turns, so that's something that doesn't happen very often.
No, I mean, somehow Gabba's not lost a lot of time because of that, but that was a big shunt into the back.
Yeah, because Rex also lost the time trying to get around the
I didn't
place.
see that. Well, fair play. Yeah. You've got more eyes than I have. I don't know how that's possible, but there you are. Well spotted, Michael. But you're right. Yeah, they are still pretty close together. Yeah, maybe Gabba was just giving him a shove to say, "Hey, enough of that." as Gabba actually in the chat has the Wikipedia, the LFS manual article for the rules of clean racing somehow clipboarded and pastes it in the chat for all to see. This man never ceases to amaze me.
I wonder how he manages to.
How did he manage that?
Stuff.
He must have that. He must have that on a clipboard or some sort of hotkey, because nobody's writing that out from memory. It's just ridiculous.
It seems like he's actually able to write stuff as he's driving fastest laps of the race, because I often see him driving complex sentences while driving, so I wonder how he does that.
I mean, he's using a wheel nowadays, so he's probably steering with his elbows. Do you steer with your elbows much, Michael? I used to steer with my elbows quite a lot, and my chin, depending on how high my force feedback was up. Chin driving was a strategy during longer races. If you fancied a chat throughout the race.
To be fair, once I tried eye tracker, but only did one lap, and it was very interesting experience.
Well, anyway, the gap between Rex and Gabba is rock solid, 0.6 of a second. But yeah, Gabba looks determined then to try and close that gap down. So we go back to dark. He's about to make a move on Andre.
Yeah, he's about to pull alongside. Will be on the right-hand side of Andreas, and the speed advantage is so big that he will be ahead before we even get under this bridge. So Andreas actually might be able to retake the slipstream and try to make a fight back, but he figured out that it's safer and faster for him to just stay behind and not fight back.
Yeah, the most experienced driver on the grid, school bus, more than 30,000 laps on this combo, goes into the pit lane to serve the mandatory pit stop. Just to rub it in, Martin Capel, after his 20-second tyre change pit stop, ended up in P24 at the moment, which is a fall from grace. Pole position to basically the back is not great, but anyway, onwards and upwards from here. In fact, it isn't onwards and upwards from here, is it? He's disconnected. He's gone. He's left.
Just as we speak, he has
game over. I mean, that's commentator's cursed. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, Happy D has just made a move on Kirku, so he's up to P15. Kirku with the second highest lap count of anybody, 20,000 there or thereabouts laps around BL1 in an FBM. Crazy numbers. But, you know, people get a lot of value out of the demo of LFS, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's a very well spent time, especially on free stuff like this.
Is that how you justify it to yourself?
I need to justify the thousands of hours I spent in the first beat, so yeah, don't take it away from me.
I'll distract you a bit. Gabba's pitted, he's in. It's plumb in the middle of his pit box, and he's back up to speed.
And Gabor needs to justify his option to pit at this particular lap. And he almost hit the drive-through, he was right on the edge.
Yeah, he's going to just be ahead of Destroyer, but just behind Andrea there. You can see out of turn 1 now, with a little bit of work to do. Now, this could be interesting. The drivers around him will not have to pit for another 2 laps. And depending on how quickly he can catch up to good drivers Andrea, Rex could have a bit of an advantage here. It's the whole length of the back straight that Rex has to play with. Let's see when Rex decides to pit. What would you do? Would you pit straight away, match Gabba, fight him on the track, or would you keep track position and go to the end?
Well, I personally would pit because I know that Gabor in clean air would be faster than me, obviously.
Well, Rex disagrees with you. He's gone straight past, so he's got confidence. He's got more confidence than you have, Michael, in his own ability as he goes over start finish.
I mean, I can't compare myself to Gabor after all.
Well, why not? Gabba is flying on this lap, though. He's just done the best middle sector as he comes up to the start-finish line.
Highwood is into the pits. Looks like Gabor has matched the final sector of Rex. being very close. So far it's neither positive or negative impact for Rex for staying out.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely no slip. Well, a little bit of slipstream, maybe distant toe, but he's no closer to Andrea than he was to Rex. As Dark is up to P5, takes the fastest lap, and he's now got the fastest sector 1 of anybody. So Dark's done an incredible run here, but he has not yet stopped. Take a look at the timing tower. You can see that actually quite a lot of drivers have still yet to stop, as Rex takes this opportunity on lap 19 to come in a lap earlier than he needs to, and now we will see on this time round who is going to have the advantage. Gabber is still chasing with Andrea here, and this could help actually. Imagine if Rex comes out bang alongside Andrea, he's going to be put off his line, and Gabber can pounce. This is going to be close.
I think he might end up ahead of these two. Let's see.
It's going to be close. He's on the outside. No. Andrea makes contact. No. He won't necessarily have seen him. Gabber will end up being disadvantaged by this. Yeah, there is contact, but there was contact there between Rex and Andrea. Andrea will have the toe as well, but that could have gone a lot worse. But that was a dream scenario really for Gabber there. It's the best chance he had of just gaining time for free. In fact, yeah, he has to go for the slipstream of Andrea. He has to get through at the braking zone, or else that's it. He has to go around the outside. Andrea, oh no, so close. That could have gone so badly wrong, but they leave each other space. There was contact, but just about worked out. But Gabber has quite a gap. Don't know why Andrea was even fighting that, but you know, it's that. Well, I don't know. They're on the track together. It's for track position, but that looked quite a hard fight considering. As Andrea there, yeah, pits. Drivers on different strategies. And we head on to the final lap. We've got Wow in the pits, Sports, Dark and Andrea all in the pits together. But our race leaders take up their place once more. Rex leads, followed by Gabber on the final lap.
Yeah, 5.5 tenths between Rex and Gabber over the start of this final lap. And looks like Gabber is not close enough to capitalize on the slipstream of Rex. So unless Rex makes a mistake himself in the rest of this lap, he should be pretty safe. Let's keep an eye.
Yeah, Wow looks like he's in a solid P3. The Fox, fair play to him, is holding on to P4 as we've got Dark there in the Red Bull livery on the left as we're looking at them, getting past Highwatt. Highwatt started in P6 but looks to be demoted to P8 after that move. But a good run for some of these drivers. As out of the final corner we are going to see Rex emerging as the driver that will take the win in race 2. It was a frantic first lap, but Rex crosses the line to win the feature race of round 16 of the Master Race Cars FBM Saturday. Nearly, Michael. And there we go, cross start finish for Gabber as well, followed by Wow, the Fox, and Magrio, your top 5. But yeah, it is a Fragmasters win, and I nearly minced my words. And well, that was a frantic race, Michael, but yeah, thoroughly deserved by Rex in the end.
Yeah, fantastic drive from Rex as well as for Gabber. So I think both of them were deserving to win this race. And it looks like Gabber has acquired the fastest lap of the race, only 100th of a second faster than Rex. So you can see how close it was. No, actually, it was Dusty who just stole the fastest lap. 1 minute 12.76. So very impressive drive from the back of the grid, essentially, after that heavy collision in the first lap. And we have 24 finishers so far.
Yeah, that's everybody across the line, I think. As we continue to watch Rex, we can have a look at our results then. Race number 2, slightly slower than race 1. But yeah, Rex winning in 26 minutes and 1 second. Gabber there, only half a second back, followed by Wow, who gets the third step on the podium. Then it's the Fox, Magrio, Bortz, Dark, finishing in P7, an impressive recovery drive there, only 12 seconds off the lead. Hiwatt, Majesta, and Andrea finishing out your top 10. Zesty, who finished, where did Zesty finish? Zesty finished in P18, took the fastest lap, 1 minute 12.76, which I believe is just a solitary hundredth of a second slower than what Dark managed in race 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. Very, very, very similar fastest laps across both races. But on our second column there, Doctor in 11th, AK Destroyer, Conix, Happy D, Dodislav, Falcon, Hosep, Zesty, Onifus, and Kirku 87, your top 20. And then over on the second page, we've got Hermani, Schoolbus, Owen, Victolo, and those are your 24 finishers, with DNFs for pole sitter Martin Kapal, Criminez, Boy, Champion Plays YT, Stan, Artist, Ruby, Sufor, TJ, Colourflow, and Redbot. Some big names leaving there at the very beginning, basically. TJ out on the first lap after that incident just out of the chicane. Well, that was a fantastic evening of racing, Michael. I hope you'll agree.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I had a blast watching these races, and I'm looking forward to another opportunity we will be commentating together this.
Yeah, as we wait for the podium photo, Rex is doing some sort of display for us here down at the start-finish line. We'll wait to see if anybody else makes it around, if they even have the fuel remaining to get around. I guess we'll find out. I think Gabba is firmly wedged into a tyre barrier at turn 1 and will not be joining us for the podium. But there is Rex anyway, your race winner in race 2. All right, that's just about all we've got time for this evening from the MRc FBM Saturday series here in Live for Speed. Thank you, everybody, ever so much for turning up for the grid. That was an amazing amount of cars tonight, Michael.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to another full grid of 40 cars the next time around.
Yeah, indeed. 40 cars for the first race tonight, which is absolutely mega, and we hope that it will be the same next Saturday. Round 17 will take place at a combination to be decided by the race organisers. So yeah, please join them for that. And you'll be able to see coverage of this championship in June, on Saturday the 21st of June, at a combination to be decided for round 25 of the MRc FBM Saturday Championship in Live for Speed for 2025. Michael, it's been a blast. Thank you ever so much for joining me in the commentary box. And yeah, congrats to all of our winners this evening. And thanks to all of you for watching another sim broadcast. We hope that you will be able to join us for more action on our channel. And yeah, there's a big one coming up on Tuesday. It's the 100th ever Roni's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large. We hope you can join us for that. But yeah, that's it from FBM Saturday for another couple of months from us. But yeah, we'll see you all on the flip side. Have a good one. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night, everyone.